Hello, my name is Jeff McTague and welcome. This is the 7th installment of my series on the best mutual fund selection process available to you, and it happens to be mine. Today I take a look at fund selection trait number 5, expenses, and its value in selecting mutual funds. Let me start with some current expense parameters. The average domestic stock fund has an expense ratio of 1.17%. The average international or global fund has an expense ratio that is 20 basis points higher at 1.37%. The average fixed income fund has a surprisingly high expense ratio of 95 basis points. And the newest range, these alternative funds, they sport a 1.92% expense ratio. The NYSA fund gets the award for the highest single expense ratio at 5.38%. I tried not to snicker. Okay, here we go. Is there a cause and effect relationship between the fund expenses and its relative performance? To find out, I have been comparing the two since 1997. First, funds were broken into investment categories, then separated into quartiles based on their expense ratio. Funds with the lowest expense ratios produced top quartile returns 65% of the time, while funds with the highest expense ratios generated the best return only 3% of the time. Conversely, funds with the highest expenses produced bottom quartile returns 86% of the time, while funds with the lowest expenses produced the worst return not once. Not once. This next chart shows the annual return advantage that low expense funds have over funds from the second, third, and highest quartile expenses. The lowest expense funds enjoyed a 56 basis points advantage over second quartile, 69 basis points over third quartile, and as you can see, the lowest expense funds produced an average return that was 1.74% higher than that of the highest expense funds. I will now scroll through the results from each survey. Out of all 11 mutual fund traits, the expense ratio is by far the most consistent and clearly the most compelling. Well, that is all I've got for today. I trust you enjoyed today's presentation and hope you will return for my next webcast when you will discover trait number 6, standard deviation. Until then, this is Jeff McTague reminding you, unless you can prove it, it's just your opinion.
Right here, right now, right here, right